Recently, the trans community has been fighting with itself a lot. One of the specific things that keeps being wielded against trans men or trans masculine people is how, if they keep bringing up their AFAB and if they keep talking about their AFAB based experiences, then they must not actually be trans. Because if you were actually trans, you would have no connection to your biological sex, quote unquote. I am AFAB. I call myself AFAB. I acknowledge the fact I'm AFAB'd. I was assigned female at birth, and it has genuinely painted every experience I've had over the last 26 years of my life, and it is impossible to pretend that it hasn't. I am not stealth. I'm never gonna be stealth. I'm a feminine man even while being a trans man. My gender goals have always been significantly closer to David Bowie, Harry Styles. For a long time, William Dorsey Swan was one of my gender goals. A lot of the places where I resonate with gender don't come from an inherently hypermasc position. I will always present in some form feminine while still being a trans man. The problem with this is that forever cis people will see me as a woman, either as a cis woman or they will mistake me for a trans woman. My entire life is shaped by my birth femininity in the sense that people will never let me forget about it, never let it go, and also the fact that I have extreme, dangerous, chronic conditions caused to me by my biological sex organs. One of the reasons my top surgery was approved in the first place is because of my extremely high risk for breast cancer. One of the reasons that I have never been able to start testosterone is because I've been dealing on and off with various forms of cancerous cells in my ovaries for years. Being AFAB has shaped my entire lived experience as a trans person, so of course I'm going to be bringing it up. My connection with my AFABness does not mean that I am not a man. I live my life as a man every day. But it does mean that the cis, straight world builders who have created the environment I have tragically lived in and will continue to create the environment I live in inevitably will never see me as a man. They see me as AFAB. My experience in the medical world, in the academic fields, in everything is defined by my biological womanhood against my will. It is also defined by my straying from my biological womanhood against my will. I don't agree with bioessentialism. I do not think that the terms AFAB and AMAB are even actually good terms. But I do think that my lived experience as someone who was a woman for 19 years and has now been fighting to be seen as a man since then, I think that my experiences being born the biological sex that I am, they're impossible to separate from my transness. They're impossible to separate from my life. Hell, they're impossible to separate from my future medical disasters that I will inevitably have in regards to my endometriosis. The idea that people cannot bring up their biological sex in conversations to speak about their lived experience is actually more bioessentialist to me. No two people are going to live the same life, and that includes for trans people. There's no such thing as being a wrong or bad trans person, and there is no wrong or bad way to interact with your transness and your gender identity. That includes however connected you are or not are with your birth sex. So, long story short, I'm going to keep bringing up the fact I'm AFAB, kind of because I have to, and kind of because I don't care as much as you care, apparently. And I hope every single trans person reaches a point of dysphoria-less liberation to where they can talk about their birth sex without it taking away from their identity.